Okay. I have never seen a single episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! In full before now. I'm 100% serious. Outside of Little Karibo's Abridged series, my knowledge of Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes from all the memes and from what people, like my friend Dai, have told me over the years. So, I was wondering, how should I approach this? Because I know I wanted to cover Yu-Gi-Oh! At some point. It was definitely considered a classic that I wanted to do. And I figured, why not cover the more obscure, uncut Funimation dub? Or, I guess, people call it the Funimation dub, but it's complicated. We'll get into that in a minute. But I figured I could use that as my entry point to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I don't know how many people could actually do that from a different point of view. You know, because most people grew up with the 4Kids dub. I never grew up with the dub for Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, so I figured, okay, as a first-time watch, why don't I see if I could start with the uncut dub and then do this whole stupid thing where I eventually go back and do the 4Kids dub? Because it's different. If anyone else out there did it this way, like maybe they somehow grew up with the uncut dub and then went to the 4Kids dub afterwards, please let me know. The uncut 4Kids dub, the edited 4Kids dub. So, this is one where literally everyone on the planet knows the story of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not going to delve too much into the plot. You all know, or pretty sure the majority of you do, follows teenage dude Yugi, who's sharing a soul with an Egyptian pharaoh named Yami, and they have to prevent villains from using a children's card game to do nefarious things and take over the world, etc. And yeah, that's the best summation I could really give without getting too deep into it. But I guess let's get into it in the story of this dub, and my overall thoughts on my first impressions on Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a manga written by Kazuki Takahashi, who tragically passed away earlier this year. And, hey, he went out like a badass, alright? He saved several people. So, cool for him. I'm not even being sarcastic, I genuinely mean that. Like, that's fucking great. The manga would run from 1996 to 2004, with 2 anime adaptations coming almost right away. The first anime airing in 1998 by Toei, which is apparently what we dubbed Season 0, and I did not know that for the longest time. I genuinely thought Season 0 was some sort of prequel thing they came out with in 2010. I'm serious, because I heard people talking about it in like 09, 2010, around that time. So, again, I'm ignorant of Yu-Gi-Oh! I know. But the one we're talking about today is Duel Monsters, the sequel series that picked up right after this anime that was done by Studio Gallop, the people who did the first 60 or so episodes of Rurouni Kenshin. So, the original Rurouni Kenshin, obviously, not the upcoming remake. 4Kids would end up dubbing the Duel Monsters, skipping Season 0, or whatever you want to call it, altogether in 2002, making it a pseudo 20th anniversary of the 4Kids dub, and I guess when this series was localized stateside. With the uncut dub they did in distribution with Funimation coming in 2004, and the final volume of it, Volume 3, coming in 2005. Yeah, this dub only ran for 3 volumes with a total of 9 episodes. If you're wondering, I was able to track down the DVDs for not very expensive prices, comparatively at least. Yeah, I know that sentence made no sense grammatically. But, yeah, made me feel nostalgic. Around $25 a piece for 3 episodes on each disc. Thanks. I hate it. Yeah, anime definitely has gotten cheaper in recent years, despite us wanting to bitch that it hasn't. Anyway. Yeah, so this dub only ran for 9 episodes and was promptly canceled. But we'll get to that in a minute and as to why, because it's kind of dumb. There's a lot of stupidity involved, as there typically is when you have Funimation and 4Kids together. Which, yeah, people called this the funny dub from everything I saw, but all they did was handle distribution. 4Kids themselves still handled the dubbing side of things, so it's still dubbed out of 4Kids. As far as my first impressions of Yu-Gi-Oh!, I thought it was alright. I definitely did feel like I was dropped into the middle of a story. For example, Joey was talking to Yugi about how they first met when they became friends or whatever, and how Joey was kind of a dick in the beginning. they were referencing the events from the first anime that was completely skipped over, which brings me to my point. Why, if this is called the Uncut Dub, not just try starting with Season 0? See if you could find a way to get the license for it. I'm sure 4Kids could probably have done something there if they wanted to get Season 0 and say, like, this is the uncut version, as it was meant to be, from the very beginning this time, or something. I don't know. Maybe there was some red tape that prevented them from getting involved. But yeah. Outside of that, I was definitely invested in the story, even if it was over-the-top silly, which, I mean, come on. Who doesn't love over-the-top silliness? So, yeah. Now, as far as the animation, can't really comment on that, but it's uncensored for these 9 episodes that are on DVD. So, you all know. The music I actually really enjoyed. I know 4Kids replaced it all in their dub, the edited dub, but for what the music was here, the uncut music, I actually enjoyed it. Particularly the theme when Yugi turns into Yami. Thought that theme was pretty good. But I guess we should get to the race of this called Dubster Dive, which these are guys everyone knows at this point, so probably going to be brief, because I want to go into the story of why this was canceled. That's what most interested me personally. Because I just... There's a lot of dumb shit involved. First, we have Dan Green, who voices Yugi, Yami, and the narrator. And I think his vocal range was really impressive here. I genuinely couldn't even tell it was him a lot of the time because, yeah. Remember, not overly familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! So, if I had to pick a voice that I thought was his weakest, it'd probably be his Yugi one, but that's just me nitpicking at this point. I should also mention that you do get a screaming Hellfire Rage. When I was looking up comments on this dub, a lot of people were, saying that was really cool to hear him say. I mean, I guess it was kind of a hype moment. But, yeah. Dan Green, I thought, did a fantastic job. One thing you will notice with this dub, though, is a lot of the line delivery feels stilted because they try matching the lip flaps 1-for-1, and even the script 1-for-1 with the Japanese in certain areas. And this has sparked a debate with people about having 1-for-1 translation versus flexible translation that gets the point across. And this is where I'm in the middle, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's just get through the rest of these characters. So, Dan Green, as most of you probably know, is Knuckles the Echidna from 4Kids Sonic era, as well as Kyo from Samurai Deeper Kyo, another anime that we've previously covered. You go check it out if you want, where he has to play someone with multiple souls residing in one body, more or less. But yeah, Dan Green did great. After him, we have Kaiba, who's the rival Dick. Voiced by Eric Stewart, Gallery from The Slayers, a series I'm way more familiar with, and Brock from Pokemon, which, yes, will get its own episode at some point, too. And I think he did fantastic as well. You could tell he absolutely adores Kaiba with his performance here. He's one of the standouts, in my opinion. So, no complaints. Also, I should mention this dub ends at the fight with, what would you call it, fake Kaiba, ghost Kaiba? And they put a filter on him, and he got to ham it up a bit more. I thought that was cool. Like, even the filter sounded good. So, it ends in the middle of that fight. After him, we have Joey. Yes, they still call him Joey in this, even though his last name is the Weebanese version, so it's Joey Kazi or Akatsuki or whatever the hell, which is just strange. A lot of characters did that. I don't understand why. Go with one or the other. Honestly, I saw some people that were okay with it, but to me it's just fucking stupid. Either keep their American names all the way, or go full Weebanese. Because having like the American first name and the Japanese last name is just confusing. Also, Joey still has his Brooklyn accent and does the yeah thing. So there's that. He's voiced by Wayne Grayson, Benny Tora from Samurai Deeper Kyo, and Hellmaster from The Slayers Next. My favorite season of The Slayers. Again, you could tell he had a lot of fun here. I think Joey's cool. I wish we did get to see more of his introduction with Yugi and how they first met. Maybe Season 0 could get dubbed at some point, which I know someone's going to bring it up. I know, I'll bring it up in a minute. The Dan Green thing. After him, we have Taya. Yes, again, they still call her Taya. She's the female friend of Yugi and them or whatever. She's just a glorified cheerleader so far from what I've seen. Got no issue with her. She seems, you know, like a fun character, I guess. She's voiced by Amy Birnbaum, who's Miss Father's Day from One Piece, 4Kids dub, don't ask, and Charmy B from Sonic X. And I think she does all right. She does a good job making Taya sound cute or whatever. Although her believe in friendship bullshit, I thought Karibo exaggerated on. I guess not. Holy shit, just in these first 9 episodes. Just a couple more I want to go over before we explain what happened to this dub and why it was canceled. Tristan was voiced by Greg Abbey in this, who's Gabro from Dinosaur King and Tabitha from Pokemon Advanced. Tabitha is... I don't even know. Fucking Tabitha. Guy named Tabitha, that's silly. Tristan, I think my problem with Tristan is, why is he here? I was wondering that the whole time I was watching this. I get Taya's point of existing or whatever. She's pep talk Yugi a little bit from the first 9 episodes that I've seen. And, you know, she's, I guess, pseudo cheerleader or whatever, and also gives exposition at moments, you know, to the audience. But Tristan doesn't really need to exist. Maybe someone can let me know if that changes later in the series, because I'm just fucking confused by his inclusion. I'm sure someone's going to point out some of the stupid shit I'm saying here, but remember, only the first 9 eps so far. So, as my first impression of him, he just seems like a pointless character. Greg did okay at voicing him, though. After him, we have Maximilian Pegasus, who's voiced by Darren Dunstan, who's Xander from Dinosaur King, and Vince McMahon from Ultimate Muscle. Is that like Vince McMahon? And I absolutely love his performance as Maximilian Pegasus. Yes, they kept in the whole him calling him Yuki Boy in this dub. I knew about that meme or whatever, and I'm glad they kept that. And yeah, Pegasus is a great fucking villain. He's so ham, it's great. So no complaints. Darren might be one of my favorite people in this dub from what I heard so far. Next we have Mokuba, voiced by Tara Sands, who's Biscuit from Hunter x Hunter. I guess it could also be Carrie Karanen, Kasuga from Berserk, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But I know Carrie took over for Tara's Mokuba partway into the 4Kids dub. But yeah, she does fine. Got no complaints. The last one I want to bring up is the one I've seen a lot of people have criticism towards, and I cannot disagree as much as I would like to be a contrarian. My Valentine, who, yes, still is called that in this, voiced by, in this dub, Kathleen Delaney, who's Rouge the Bat from Sonic X and Alveda from One Piece 4Kids dub. She's not a bad voice actor, but she does not fit Mai at all. Mai was voiced in the other dub by Megan Hollingshead and Erica Schroeder, which I think both of those would fit the character much better here. I don't know, I haven't heard them per se, but just a guess. Because the vibe I get from Mai, I don't know. Kathleen just doesn't seem like she fits her 100%. Though there is a hilarious dub flub up between her and Taya. So, it's when they're talking and, you know, Taya's going on about believe in friendship to bullshit to win the duel. Mai says, duels aren't that simple. Taya replies, yes it is. Don't you mean yes they are? Fix your shit, Taya. Learn how to speak. I mean, I'm no expert on grammar either. I fuck up my words all the time, but still. But outside of that, I didn't notice any dub flubs ups or fuck ups. So, outside of that, everyone talking really slowly, you know, to match lip flaps or whatever, so you got a lot of awkward pauses in between lines here and there. But my thoughts on the Yu-Gi-Oh dub, it's okay. I can tell a lot of people had fun with it, especially like Dan Green and Eric Stewart. You could tell they love these characters. That's why they're even talking about doing the Season 0 manga, acting out the manga or whatever, which I think would be really fucking cool. But, yeah. As far as why the dub was canceled, let's get into that. So, 4Kids Yu-Gi-Oh, as I said, was dubbed in 2002 and ran for a few years, right? Yeah, it was running concurrently with the release of this, meaning they were dubbing the uncut dub and the edited dub, which was deep in, I believe, season 4 from what I looked up around this time, at the same time. Why? Funnily enough, Funimation were doing the same shit. They went back and were redubbing DBZ with the uncut dub at this time, which also failed miserably. It only made it to around, what was it, to the end of the Ginyu saga? No, not even the end of the Ginyu saga, the fight with Raccoon. So, 4Kids would also attempt this with Shaman King, which will also get its own episode, so I'm not going to dwell on that. But either way, I appreciate the effort for these uncut dubs, but why run them concurrently with dubs that were already airing? And I know someone's going to bring up Z was over, but I'm referring to Shaman King and Yu-Gi-Oh! At this point. That just doesn't make sense. Well, either way, Alcon, the CEO of 4Kids at the time, would reveal in April of 2005, 2 months after Volume 3 came out, the final volume, that they sold incredibly well. All the uncut volumes did very good. So why were they canceled then? Well, there have been multiple theories. One was, as I said, the competition between uncut and censored Yu-Gi-Oh! Volume DVDs, or DVD sales. Another theory was licensing issues, something involving the Japanese audio, which this was brought up by a Funimation representative named Lance Highskull. He didn't really elaborate much on it, so fuck if I know. And the other one was this. Another theory was Funimation and 4Kids potentially could have had a falling out because in May of 2005, Funimation was acquired by Novar, and 4Kids were talking about having a potential drop of 38% in their profits, which they claim was due to popularity decline of Yu-Gi-Oh! Take that with a grain of salt if you want, I guess. But I don't think they had a falling out. Funimation still worked with 4Kids to put out some of their DVDs in the future after this. To muddy the waters even more, though, someone would ask Alcon, the CEO of 4Kids, why they were canceled, and he would reply, because the sales weren't profitable for the DVDs. Even though he said that they sold incredibly well. So even though they sold well, they weren't profitable, meaning it wasn't enough. And I'm going to be honest, that sucks. We're probably never going to find out the real answer, but if you want my honest theory, it's probably the licensing thing. Because the fact that both Yu-Gi-Oh! And Shaman King were canceled around the exact same time definitely makes it seem like licensing. Because if it were just Yu-Gi-Oh!, then why cancel Shaman King as well? That doesn't make much sense. Then again, it could have been sales. Funimation canceled the DBZ uncut thing around this time as well because of alleged sales numbers being low. So I don't know. You guys decide in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. It's a fucking mess. It's kind of funny that Volume 3 of the DVD for Uncut Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a trailer for Volume 4 on it. And some people suggest Volume 4's dub was 100% completed. It was just never released. So I really hope that someday it gets released online through One Piece memes or something. I don't know. Or maybe Discotech could license it, like do some sort of collaboration with Konami and put it out, like the 12 episodes. Like, I'd be fucking down for that. It doesn't look like it, though. The Japanese Blu-ray of Shaman King coming out, the Japanese uncut audio or whatever, doesn't include the uncut 4Kids attempt from 20 years back or so. I know it's not 20 years back. I rounded up, guys. And, yeah. That's really it, actually. This was a weird oddity, but I'm glad I experienced it, and, you know, I'm glad I started Yu-Gi-Oh! Even if it was in a weird, odd, roundabout way. I'm really curious to see what the 4Kids edited dub looks like, though. Is it going to be funny, or is it going to be pain? It's going to be interesting. Last thing I'll mention is the text in the DVDs wasn't translated, so I couldn't get the ADR director or scriptwriter, if anyone's wondering, because the credits are all still in kanji. Yeah, they went a little too committed to this whole not editing anything. They didn't edit any of the text. Good job, guys. In any event, should you track this down, if you're a hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh fan or an anime collector, I'd say go for it. I believe they're still around online last time I checked, so yeah. And hey, who knows? Maybe someday Yu-Gi-Oh can get the uncut full dub it deserves. Prince of Tennis just got a redub recently, and I didn't think any of that shit was ever going to happen. So, sky's the limits at this point, I'd say. But hey, let me know your guys' thoughts. If you saw the uncut dub, let me know what you thought of it. Let me know where I fucked up along the way as describing something from Yu-Gi-Oh, because I'm sure there's numerous times where I did that. And let me know your pick for best voice actor in this particular dub. I'm going to have to go with Dan Green, Darren Dunstan, and Eric Stewart. They were probably my three favorite. But, yeah. Guess that's going to do it for me this time, guys. As far as next time, might do another classic. Because I think it's about time we visited something else's anniversary and see what's going on over there. Thanks again for watching. If you have any requests, please leave them below, and we'll be sure to get to them eventually. Hope you have yourselves a great day, and till next time, guys. Till next time.